Okay, I know it's 2020 and you're not allowed to be mean to people anymore. And every time you tell somebody their feet stink or that their half-witted president lost an election, they try to suffocate themselves with a cry pillow or run to Twitter with the hashtag cancel Lou and all this kind of stuff. But the reality of the situation is this. Stetson Bennett's just a terrible quarterback, period. And that's not being mean. That's just having a set of eyes that works and knowing a little bit about football. And the unfortunate part for Stetson Bennett, there's nothing he can do about it. There's no amount of game experience. There's no amount of practice. There's no amount of off-season work. There's no amount of training. There's no amount of hiring a QB coach or whatever that's ever going to change any of that about Stetson Bennett. That's just the reality. Sometimes there's a reason that a kid gets 0 scholarship offers out of high school. You know, sometimes there's a reason that a kid is a walk-on. There are exceptions to rules in everything in life, but generally speaking, the rules are rules because most of the time, that's what happens. And in the case of Stetson Bennett, it's not any good. He's got no business starting at UGA. He's got no business really starting anywhere in the SEC or the Power 5. Now, turns out, I guess we were lucky we had him because of the situations we've created for ourselves at the quarterback position. And that's something else that people need to understand. Georgia's quarterback situation is not something that has happened to Georgia. It's something that Georgia has went and created on its own. Kirby Smart, of course, is mainly to blame here. He sat 2 5-star quarterbacks behind a half-melted bowl of vanilla ice cream named Jake Fromm. They both went elsewhere. One of them's in the NFL right now. He'll be starting for the Colts next year. The other one is on his way to his 2nd straight Heisman ceremony for top 5 Ohio State. It's just what it is. So, you make your bed. You got to sleep in it. The quarterback situation is an absolute disaster. That being said, this season is over, primarily because of the quarterback situation. 2020, and we just played a football game in which 2 different quarterbacks at the University of Georgia combined for 9 of 29 passing for, I think, 112 yards. It's just absolutely pitiful. Those are 1940s type totals when it comes to passing. You're not beating any legitimate team in modern day football with those type of passing numbers, and that's just the bottom line. Now, we all know that. We all agree on that. I think everyone has accepted that now. Georgia's season is over. Florida's not losing 2 more games. Georgia's not winning the East. Anything less than that is 100% completely and totally unacceptable considering where Georgia is as a program right now. So this season is an abject failure, an utter disaster, and an absolute disappointment. So what do we do now? What about the quarterback situation for the rest of this year? What about the quarterback situation? Well, what about the quarterback situation for the next game? What about the quarterback situation for the rest of this year? And what about the quarterback situation going forward into 2021? Some of these things we can try to figure out now. Some we may end up having to wait, see what happens. Start with the next game. Supposed to be this weekend against Mizzou. Now, this game, of course, has been postponed due to too many of Missouri's players being chopstick sick. They got the Rona, the chopstick sick. They can't play. This game gets canceled. Now, there are some benefits to Georgia for this. We're all beat up, especially defensively. I mean, it's a mash unit over there. Half the defense is out. So in that regard, okay, getting an extra week off here, not such a bad deal. But we lost last week to Florida. I hate having a bye week after a loss. You want to get that taste out of your mouth. But what's really bad about this game being canceled? There was about a 100% chance we were not going to see Stetson Bennett this weekend against Missouri. Shoulder banged up against Florida, a separated shoulder, AC joint sprain, whatever it is. He was likely not to play this week against Missouri. Not because Kirby came to his senses and benched him. No, that would make too much sense. And Kirby Smart is offensively retarded. He just is. He's a QB illiterate. The guy wouldn't know a decent quarterback if he came up and pissed in his mouth. He just wouldn't. It's just reality. So Bennett probably would have started this weekend if we were playing Missouri and he was healthy. But he wasn't healthy. He didn't practice Monday. He didn't practice Tuesday. So we were all set up this week to have an open QB competition in practice, which I'm assuming we'll still have, even though there's no game this weekend, featuring Dwan Mathis, JT Daniels, remember him, and true freshman Carson Beck. Kirby's hand was forced. That's the point. That's why that's what makes it so bad that this Missouri game is postponed, other than the obvious, which is you want to see your team play. Kirby's hand was being forced this week. Stetson Bennett was not going to play, not physically able. Kirby was going to have to start somebody else, And most people, myself included, we're pretty sure we were going to see not one, not two, but probably 3 quarterbacks play for the University of Georgia this weekend, and now that's not going to happen. So who was going to play? Well, Dwan Mathis, of course, JT Daniels, and Carson Beck. Let's talk about those 3. Well, let me wrap up the whole Stetson Bennett thing by just saying this. I'm of the opinion, personally, Stetson Bennett ought to never play another down for Georgia ever again. Of course, I'm of the opinion he never should have played a down to start with, but the point is this season is over. I couldn't be less interested in beating Missouri, South Carolina, Vandy, and Mississippi State 14-3 in the next 4 games. Nothing could interest me less than that. And that's about what would happen if we tried to Stetson Bennett's happy ass out there to play against those 4 teams. I never want to lose a game, and I don't want to lose to any of those 4 teams now. But losing those games ain't going to cost us the East. The East is already gone. So who gives a... I'm trying to not cuss so much. I mean, getting a little carried away with that. But anyway, the point is, play these guys. You've got to start looking towards next year. You have to. You have to. Right now, you have no clear answer for next year. None. So why... Stetson Bennett hit his ceiling in the second quarter against Arkansas. Facts. Facts. He was never going to get any better. So we know what he is. Is he going to be back next year? Of course he is. Where the hell else is he going to go? Nobody else wants him, and he's not going to the NFL. So, yeah, of course, he'll be back next year. So we know what we have with him next year. If for some reason Kirby retains his retard level and wants to play Stetson Bennett next year, we know what we're going to get with him. We know his limitations. We know what he can do. We know what he can't do. And like I said earlier, there's nothing that's ever going to change those things. He's never going to get any better than he is now. Physically, he can't. He just can't. Dwan Mathis has looked terrible. I'll be the first to say it. But he's young. Okay? He has potential. Potential's not always realized. There is the possibility, though, that Dwan Mathis does become better over time. There's the possibility that he doesn't, obviously. But the point is, as long as if there's a chance he could become better, you got to play him some. Play him. JT Daniels, 5-star. An entire season's worth of experience in the Power 5. A season where the numbers didn't necessarily blow me away. Talked a lot about that over the summer. He's not very mobile. He threw a lot of interceptions. He's miles better than Stetson Bennett. You can't tell me JT Daniels isn't better than both Stetson Bennett and Dwan Mathis right now. I don't give a shit. God dang it. Sorry. I don't care what Kirby says in his post-game circus conferences about this is who looks best in practice and gives us the best chance. Bull. Type in JT Daniels in YouTube. Watch any game he ever played at Southern Cal. He looks miles better than Dwan Mathis or Stetson Bennett. It's not even close. So he should get to play too. And then you got Carson Beck. Why not play him? Season's over. I know he's a true freshman. Not ideal. I don't care. Nothing about the Georgia quarterback situation is ideal. What does it matter? Let these guys play. What's the worst possible thing that could happen by playing Dwan Mathis, JT Daniels, and Carson Beck? What's the worst thing that could happen? They go out there and look like Stetson Bennett? Who cares? Guess what? Every time Stetson Bennett goes out there, he looks like Stetson Bennett. Let the other guys play. You've got to figure out now what the plan is for next year. You have to. I know Brock Vandergriff is committed. Even if he stays committed, who's to say he's going to be the guy? How do we know he's going to work out? He's a 5-star. He's likely not to see the field at UGA. Let's just be real. I mean, look at Kirby's history with quarterbacks here. Justin Fields, Jacob Eason, these guys can't get on the field. In comes Brock Vandergriff on his moped. You think he's going to save the day? I don't know. And even if he is a good quarterback, could be the situation where he needs a year to develop. He plays in a teeny tiny private league in Georgia. It's not like he's going up against the best competition every week. Now, they play some out-of-conference region games or out-of-region games against some better teams. But generally speaking, though, he's not in one of these conferences in Georgia that you look at and you go, man, this guy's playing great competition week in and week out. He's just not. Now, he goes to all these camps, and he looks good there. In the underwear Olympics, that's what I call the camps. You know, ain't no defense. You ain't got to worry about getting hit. Nothing like that. Almost anybody can look good there. But the point is, so even if he comes in, we don't know that he's going to be the guy day one. Ideally, that would probably be the case. That would probably be ideal. But we don't know that. You got to play these other 3 guys. You got to find out what Carson Beck does when the lights turn on. You got to find out what the hell you got with JT Daniels. Why do you go out and get a 5-star transfer like JT Daniels and sit him on the bench behind Stetson friggin' Bennett. Man, this don't make no sense. And the worst thing for Kirby Smart's done dug himself so deep of a damn hole with his quarterback situation, there's really nothing he can do to get himself out of it. There's no positive outcome, really, for Kirby Smart the next game that we play whenever JT Daniels plays. If JT Daniels comes out and looks like crap, why the hell did we go get him then? Who's evaluating these QBs? If Stetson Bennett is really the best quarterback on our team, if he's really better than JT Daniels, Carson, Beck, and Dwan Mathis, who the hell is scouting these quarterbacks and giving them scholarships to the University of Georgia, government people that can't complete a pass? Nobody believes that. What's likely to happen is that JT Daniels comes out and plays, and he doesn't even have to put up ridiculous numbers. What if JT Daniels came out next week, whenever, and goes, I don't know, let's say he goes 16 of 21. That's not crazy. 16 of 21, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. That's pretty average, honestly, if you look around college football. 16 of 21, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. That's pretty average. That would be the best thing to happen at Georgia in the quarterback situation. It's just buck fucking Baloo. That's what's likely to happen. And then Kirby's going to have to trot his ass out into that press conference. And you know what the question's going to be? Kirby, why did you wait until the season was over to play this guy? I know that's the question I'm going to have. And again, these are all things that are Kirby's fault. He created this problem on his own self. Jamie Newman transferred a month before the season. That's Jamie Newman, man. Come on. You can't be in a situation at Georgia where the best you have is Jamie Newman, and then if he leaves, Stetson Bennett? No! You can't be in that situation. Kirby created this. He's got to fix it. Now, that might mean going out into the transfer portal again this offseason, which we did twice last offseason. You go and get Jamie Newman and JT Daniels. Jamie Newman saw the writing on the wall, and he got the hell out of Dodge. Jamie Newman looked around and said, my God, look what they're doing with quarterbacks here. This won't help my draft stock. This will destroy it. And he got the hell out. He'd rather take his chances in the Senior Bowl than to play a season surrounded with elite talent at UGA. And honestly, I don't blame him. Then you bring in JT Daniels, and this guy's on a milk carton, hiding on the sideline for 5-6 games of the season so far. Not his fault. Kirby's fault. And stop it with the knee. You still got fans out there saying there's things wrong with his knee. There's nothing wrong with the guy's knee. Nothing. The guy was cleared the Monday after week 1. The Monday after the Arkansas game 2 months ago. Jesus, he's been running the scout team for 3-4 weeks. Full contact, full speed. Just stop. He's not playing because Kirby thinks Stetson and Dwan are better than him. Maybe he's right, but let's be real. The odds are not in Kirby's favor when it comes to telling us who the best quarterback is at the University of Georgia. Has Kirby ever chosen the right quarterback at UGA? I don't know. So I don't know. So anyway, to wrap it up here, to summarize, if you will, Stetson Bennett should never play another down at UGA. He's not a long-term solution. He's you know what he is? Stetson Bennett's a spare tire. You're riding down the interstate at 80 miles an hour and your tire blows. That's not ideal. It's not ideal. A spare tire is not ideal either. But it's better than no spare tire. That's what Stetson Bennett is. He'll get you home. Stetson Bennett will get you home or to the mechanic. You shouldn't be leaving Stetson Bennett on your car for months. And that's what we did. And that's terrible. He should never play another down for UGA. And again, this isn't about being mean to Stetson Bennett. This is the reality of the situation. There's no reason to play him anymore. There's just not. With Dwan Mathis, he's looked terrible. It could be that he always looks terrible and won't improve, but he does have physical ability that Stetson Bennett just doesn't have. He can throw the ball 60, 70 yards. He's athletic. He can move around. He's big. He's tall. There is the possibility that he develops into a starting quarterback. That possibility exists. Carson Beck, true freshman, we have no idea. JT Daniels, former 5-star recruit, a full season of experience at Southern Cal. It would appear to me he's the best option right now, but again, we'll see. It does suck this game got canceled because is there anybody, if Stetson Bennett is cleared, I swear to God, Kirby, if you're watching this video, And I'm pretty sure that you are. If you're watching this video, sir, do not trot Stetson Bennett's happy ass out onto that field when we play in 2 weeks, a week and a half now. Don't do it. Don't do it. This week, your hand was forced. You were going to have to play a different quarterback. Just pretend that's the case next week. Just pretend it's the case next week. I'm telling you right now, nobody, I mean nobody in this entire fan base wants to see Stetson Bennett go out there and win a game 14-3. I don't ever want to lose a game, and I don't want to lose any of these games we have remaining. I would rather lose with JT Daniels, Carson, Beck, or Dwan Mathis than win 14-3 again with Stetson Bennett, because it means nothing. It's not like we have a year to figure this out. You got to figure it out. And you got us into this mess, Kirby. You got to get us out. Game 1 of the 2021 season. Neutral site, Charlotte, North Carolina, Georgia versus Clemson. Clemson's going to have a new quarterback too, the ukulele. But turns out he's got a couple of games experience this year because Trevor went down with the Rona. And this just in, breaking news, he looks pretty damn good. I don't know why it is all these other teams can put quarterbacks in and out of the game and throw for 300 yards, but Georgia's over here struggling to complete 30% of its passes and even get into triple digits in terms of yards. It's an absolute embarrassment. I'm ashamed, Kirby, as a Georgia fan, that this is the offense that you have given us this year, and you have to get it fixed, period. And the fix does not involve Stetson Bennett at all, period, as anything other than like a fourth string emergency backup. That's it. That's it. I don't want to see him the rest of this year. I want to see the other 3. I want to see the other 3. That's it. I was about to say something about fans in general in that last video I made talking about Georgia's 5 stars. Some of you idiots don't understand anything about 5 stars and 4 stars. You don't understand basic averages. And I'm not ranting about that. Thanks for watching.